Okay, I'm back. So, now, earlier I mentioned that I'd be back by 1:30. It's almost, or 1 o'clock even. It's not that I wasn't back working. I just wasn't back online. Mostly because I was just trying to iron out a few things, you know, get some things working the way I wanted them to. It was, well, iffy, to say the least. So yeah, I was trying to get, my code to fix the problems that I was having. I just wanted to start in a fresh spot, so something new, something different, which is what I'm working on right now. But I have this weird problem. So I added a field, this off-deck spec team, to my proto file, and under no circumstances will it build this into my PB file. You can see it's not here. There is no. I delete them. I try to recreate it, and it just will not. It will not work. I don't know what is going on. It's got something against me. It just will not do the job. It's driving me crazy. So I don't know what's going on. So we're gonna go here. I'm not. I don't know. Let's just see if I can do this. CD common. And then I said I've stopped all my services. I have nothing running. I restarted the app. I'm hoping that I can get this to work now. Curious why I keep getting that error. But anyhow, so yeah, I'll keep plugging away here. I did put in some code now to also start instantiating and creating and saving my data to a Mongo database, which will be nice to get that going, actually getting data in there. I did find and also I spent a little time looking for and tracking down the game I'm basing this on that I designed a few years back. It's kind of funny, it doesn't tell me how to fix that issue, but because I have tried to use this on multiple occasions, and this works too. I knew that would work, but so it's gone, right? Navigate to common directory if using no. PQL F game plan. Stop any running services. Verify the field exists. See, this is one I've been, watch. I'm going to run this. Hopefully it's there now. Hopefully it'll be like, oh yeah, okay, we'll create it now that all the services are closed and the thing's been restarted and everything's good. I'm even going to try clean. How would I clean? Is it npm clean or? Dang it. I don't remember what it is. Alright, so it created the files. Now we're going to go this. Verify that it exists. Drum roll, please. Does it exist? It just ran. Nothing happened. What should the grep command return? it did nothing. It just completed. Return anything. Check proto file content. See, it's not there. Big surprise. Why won't it generate? That's such a weird thing. It's like, nope, I know you want this file in there, but we're not doing that. Should show off spec. Should show recent timestamps of files generated. You know what? I probably have to go back one. Yeah. Well, it was wrong about what that should do. Oh, no, it didn't. All right, so then we go here and try this. December 23rd at 1:53. Number 1 did not return field in the list. Does show that the files generated just a minute or so ago. It's really reaching now, man. It's really reaching. It's like, well, maybe it's not going to the right place. I'm going, yeah, it is, because I'm staring at it. It's visible. It's gone after a delete, and it's there after a create. It's gone. It's there. I generated it. It's the right one. Clean. There we go. Clean and regenerate. That's not really cleaning. All it does is remove it. It's just deleting those files. Run protalk with debug output. Okay. Check proto definition. All right, so we're going to go what? Message game situation. Sure, why not? Let's try it again. Obviously, it's not there. And then we're going to go there. Cannot make proto path relative. API, oh. Dot is failing. Check for file content directly. It's not there. I did. One exists in proto file. Confirmed. Oops. But you are welcome to take a look yourself and verify. Clean and regenerate. It's like, it's just telling me to do the same thing over and over again. It's like, just do it again, do it again, do it again. Maybe you should just try doing it again. Like, it's not working. Insanity, the definition thereof. Just keep trying and maybe it'll give you a different result. Alright, here's the deal. What if I do this? I'm just going to get rid of this whole thing. Control S. Oh, dang it. Okay, and then I'm going to go here and I'm just going to say make gen again. Actually, we're going to go delete. Somewhere. Alright, so they're all gone. In fact, I took out that entire reference to anything that is anything that looks like that. Just to make sure that when it does it, where is it building this from? Alright, so I don't know what the heck. What are you talking about? Who's trying to edit that file? Favorite play. Okay, so game plan. Yeah, it's not there no more. None of those files exist. Completely rewritten. Let me see. Is there a way to open copy path? So it is not there. It is empty. I keep saying that because I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go look. Open, reveal in File Explorer. Okay, so in here I should go API. And these ones just got regenerated at 2:01. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Proto and I'm going to put those back. Complete with everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's all there. It's all happy. All I want to do is add this freaking field. And then we're going to go here. And delete them again. And then we're going to run make gen again. This file, what the heck? What is this? Why is it telling me that? Do not. Who's telling you to? Yeah, I'm not generating the file. Don't worry about it. Mind your own business. Aha! It created it. I I needed to build it without whatever, so it would refresh its own brain. It's like it was like stuck in cache or something. And now it appears to be present. Woohoo! Yay me! Problem solved. You know, once you go around the circles enough time with AI, you're like, okay, AI. You know, sometimes you just gotta like solve it yourself. You start getting these ideas in your head, and it's like, AI is not going to come up with one. Let's see what I can do. And in this case, got it. So if something won't write, try removing it completely and then just putting it back. I'm not talking about just the files, but like the generation process. It's almost like it was generating from memory instead of from the file. So by forcing it to generate something that was totally different, it had to rebuild itself. And so when you go back and do it again, it was like, okay, now I'm going to just do it this way. And I think why I was getting those files is almost like there was like those little errors down here. I think they were like creating me some kind of I was doing something that was forcing it to make a change it didn't want to change, like it was resisting my changes. But now I forced it. Okay, so there we go. We have that. Now, in theory, I should have a database. I do have, well, I don't have it yet. I'm about to, because I'm going to run something, and I'm going to create my database. Now, at some point here, I got to start putting my player data in, and I have, okay, so I'm going to show you. This is going to be very small. In fact, I actually have these in a PDF, but these are the player cards of my game. Very generic, right? Let's see if you can see that. Very generic. Is it even going to be? It might even be too blurry. I don't know. But this is what they look like. They're just little standees. They're cards, and then they have the stats of the players on them, so you can see it front and back. And this is a wide receiver, so he's got. I don't even know if I could remember what all these stats mean, but he's got a 15 on his. I think what that is. Oh, okay. So yeah, no, he's got a. I believe that's his run after catch capability. In other words, this is how well he, like, if you want to tackle him, how good he is at being tackled. He's got a 0 for. What I forgot what it's called. There's a term for it. It's the bonus yards he gets from each tackle. So the game works in 5-yard increments, but you can have a value of 1 to 4 or 0 to 4 as far as your bonus. With the defense, it's called a stuff value. So it's 1 to 4, and you subtract the stuff value from the I don't know, the skill value or the run value or whatever, and that's where they fall exactly per yard. So in other words, if you go 5 yards and you get hit with a stuff of -2, you actually end up 2 yards back of the 5th yard. So you'll be on the, if you get tackled at 5, you've got -3, you'll end up on the 2-yard line or 2 yards forward. But if you've got a positive value and there is no stuff, you would end up on the 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever you have for the positive value. So, like this guy's name is Siobhan Riffrey. Riffrey? Wow, nice name. That's what you get when you're doing anagram names. That name, I have no idea who that is. I couldn't tell you. But what I'm thinking about doing is using actual NFL team colors. I can't use logos, but there's nothing to stop me from using the colors. And thus I shall do that. But anyway, so yeah, I need to get my data into the database for all of those stats that you see for all these guys. He's got 6 sets of stats. One is his speed. I think one is his break tackle. One is his catching ability. I have all these rules written down somewhere. Let's actually go look at those, because that's all going to be what I'm integrating into the game. So the game has, I actually have this one. Somewhere. It's Active Minds Games. Here we go. And then we go down here. Somewhere. Game designs. Diablo's Dungeon Siege. Oh, I have so many good games in design here. Some of them are pretty close to, I mean, they're conceptually complete. A lot of them, they're board games. These are board games, by the way. I was trying to create a Dungeon Siege kind of game for the board tabletop. It's coming out pretty slick. Oh, I created one called "So You Want to Be a Game Designer?" Board game designer. And that one was cool because it uses a lot of the different mechanisms from board games to progress through your career as a board game designer. And that one's kind of fun too. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff, man. There's all stuff I want to put on Kickstarter someday. But I need to find me a really good graphic design partner who wants to help make these games come to life. But I haven't found that person yet. So, because I say partner because someone who wants to share in the risk of creating this dang thing, which means putting in their own time and effort to make it happen. Because Kickstarter could launch it, but without good visual design, Kickstarters don't do well. Doesn't matter how good the game is if it's crappy looking. Nobody wants to pay for it. And I get it. I mean, I would never release a game that was crappy looking, but nobody wants to help you get the money to make it look good. They'd rather you have a crappy game that looks good for the Kickstarter, and then you can hash out the rules and everything later. And people will back a good looking game even if it's just vaporware versus a really good, solid, ready to go game that just needs graphics. They won't, then people aren't interested. It's like, yeah, that's ugly. I don't want nothing to do with that. Just the way it goes, man. People aren't interested. So here's all like a whole set of rules and documentation for this. Some of the play testing I was doing, plans I had for support and expansions and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I have, well, follow your rules, right? Let's go see. Is this even anywhere near that folder? I doubt it is. Pretty sure that is a lost link. I should have just embedded it. I mean, I can go find these. I have them on my drive. They're just totally, they're really old links. Embedded was probably better. Oh, skill flashes. Yeah, skill flashes. In this game, they're called perks because you earn them. You have to. Certain players have the ability to earn perks. Perks can be any number of things that can happen to a player to help make him better for a time. But I have actually come up with the solution for. I was trying to figure out how can I give players experience and advance their skills without breaking the game. And I figured out the solution to that. That's secret, but I have figured it out, how to keep the game within balance, even while you're building up and your guys are changing their power levels. Trust me, I got it solved. I figured that out the other day, and I'm like, oh yeah, ding, 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 ding. That's what I'm going to be doing. So every card you get comes with a max salary and a potential skill set. And if you put them into a league or a career, the players will gain experience doing whatever they do, different ways to improve. And then what they'll do is they'll earn that potential that they've got on from their real life true stats. And So if you play them in multiple leagues, they may earn the skills at different rates, and different things can cause different things to happen and improve those skills, but they end up with a max level experiencing. So it's fully based, though, on true stats, so they can only get to the point of what they are. They're best at that point. Now, since you can get cards from different years and put them into the game, you can up their potential, theoretically. You probably wouldn't put a cheaper version of him in, but if you do, he becomes that other player. So you're basically starting over with that player. so yeah. And you also, it's kind of like prediction. You can kind of tell their future. They all come in as rookies, or most probably come in as rookies. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it for like starting a season, like if you free draft. Maybe everybody starts 5 years back as early as their rookie season, so that you have a little bit of room to grow with them while you're drafting in and bringing in new players. But ultimately, I think new cards will generally come in as rookies. And so if a guy had 22 years in the league, he's going to start off as a rookie, which means he's going to have huge potential, because if he was in for that long, he probably got pretty good. But he's also going to have, a pretty low stats at the beginning versus what he's going to earn. Now, he might not, it might actually set his potential at a certain level. That's how he finishes his career, right? But perhaps he has a different things going on during the year. So his career, his potential is going to be maxed. So since you can actually have players from different years, not in the same league, unless the league starts that way. But if you ever release a player or retires and he's on your team and there's already one in the league on someone else's team, he disappears. He disappears from the league. So he won't be traded. He won't be picked up by someone else. He just vanishes. Because he's on someone else's team. But new players can only be added if they don't exist on someone else's team within the league. So that's how that works. But you can always add new players each year. The new set of players could come out, and if you get some of those cards, you can add them to the draft, and the draft will let you pick from those players. I gotta go look at my rules. Rules adjustments. Anyway, so those are going to be my rules. I have the whole formulas and everything, and I probably won't be showing the formulas that design and develop all of that determine all their stats and skills. That's just because that is one of my few proprietary informations that I got to keep kind of under the hood. But I will show you if I can find products in development, experience. Okay, so somewhere we got rules, pictures. Here we go. So this is the complete rules of how this game works. Now, obviously, you aren't going to be able to read this right now. it's a fair amount. There's a lot going on. But this tells you how all the players interact, what you can do. Certain things are called the huddle, like when you're picking your plays and stuff. But that'll be different, obviously, in this game. But some of it is just nomenclature. I mean, you'll still be doing a lot of the same stuff. You got movement, how they all position on the table, how we check for sacks and positions of where the ball gets thrown. The whole bit. It got the whole bit in the game. You got injuries and fatigue. Yeah, potential for fumblies, fumblies, big play checks. The whole king caboodle, man. I got it covered. And this game has time management based on the way the cards are used, which helps the deck move along. But you also can control it with hurry up offenses and timeouts and the usual things that stop clocks. But so there's a lot of stuff. So this is going to be translated into the game. You even see how the defenses can play out. This is the defense information, type of play, what you can have in your zone. So you can see this is the field. I wonder if I have. Of course I have. Duh. Of course I have. There is a. This is just a chunk of the field. This is like where your player is sitting. If I close that, there's also. Let's see. Graphic first cut graphic edition renders. Clock field counter. Oh yeah, the clock. Oh yeah, I had a clock on this game. I forgot about that thing. I mean, yes, there's. In fact, I don't know if I'm actually using the clock. The clock was an original design piece, but I think I came up with a better way to manage the clock, which at least got rid of one little extra thing. I will. Oh, here you go. Here's the layout. Here's the field. So this is the field and the player mat. So you've got your first quarter intangibles. That's what I called them. That's what the deck is called. And you draw off of this deck, and it does all kinds of things that affect the game. Intangibles are things you can't really measure or necessarily plan for. You can try to reduce or affect, but they're hard to quantify. But in the game, they have that, and that's kind of how the clock works. You're drawing off of this deck, and they're cards you can play throughout the game. So whether or not that exact piece, I've been kind of going over my head how that kind of stuff would work in the game. I'm considering it, but I haven't decided. So this is just your bench where your players sit, and where your deck and where your play call sits, and the cards you would be, other cards you would be playing in. But you can see I've got these field locations, and it's way bigger than I thought. So this is the scrimmage line. This area here is, I thought it was 15 yards. I guess this is more like 10, 20, 30. That's 40 yards. Wow. But honestly, I think it's only like this part matters, and then this part matters. This is where everything's precision, this 20 yards in here. Out here is when you're starting to get into big play zone, is what I call it. This is where things happen that you move down the field at bigger chunks. Obviously, this is 20 yards, right? So that's a long ways down the field. A lot of what happens in a game happens in this 20-yard zone. In fact, a lot of times, maybe even in this first 10. But and then this is the line of scrimmage where you would be lining up to snap. But you could lose 10, 15 yards on a sack or something like that. So you could end up way back here. So you can see my game did not allow for somebody to lose 27 yards because he's a goofball quarterback who just decided to run backwards for 20 yards and then get sacked. It does happen. I saw it yesterday. Who was it? The quarterback for the Seahawks. He ran backwards like 17 yards. Actually, that would still fit on here, 5'10". Yeah, he'd still be back here. He's 17 yards further back. But yeah, he lost 17 yards on the play, but still would have been back here. So yeah, it's this control sets for a lot of the different areas. So this is how the game would work. Okay, so you see all the lines on here matter. Every line on here matters. You've basically got 30 yards in the middle and 10 yards on the left and right for where your zones are. So you move into a zone. There's a player who starts in every zone. I don't think any zone has two players in it. This area, although it's 3 zones, it's actually a split zone. So you could have a player on the left or a player on the right of the center zone. You rarely ever had 2, but they could move into the zone that way. It was just set up that way so that you could allow for different kinds of setups for like your safeties who might be I formation or offensive linemen or whatever. So you have a way to split them out. because you notice that this is a much wider area. These areas have 2, this one has 3, and this allowed you to get a little bit more players into the middle. Like you might have 4 guys who start in the center of the field and they're lined up like a 3-4 defense. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually if you're doing like a nickel or something, the 5th guy would be sitting out here on the outside. But it allows for you to set up those more complex defenses. And so when you're in here, your movement in the field would come in and your players would move through zones during the course of the play to get to the ball. In defense or offense, in the case of offense, you're just moving through the zones. You advance to the next zone if you break through whatever tackle's here. So basically, every time you complete a check, you move 5 yards. But stuff values and other things such as that could reduce that, and maybe you don't get the full 5. Who knows? Just depends on where you're hit. Because this is where it occurs. First interaction is on this line. Second interaction is on this line. So yeah, you may have advanced 5, but you could get negative and ended up in here. So the only way you really ever end up in here is if you've got a positive on your rush skill and the other team doesn't have stuff that negates you. So you would move into here. Otherwise, you move 5 and they stuff you and you end up in here. So there is a way, all the yard points can be hit on the field. And that's how I designed this to work. And so I'm going to have something similar to way on this on the way the game interacts. Now, what I am not doing is generating. I'm not sure how they do it, but I'm guessing like Madden, they move players at a certain speed. Now, yes, my players have speed, but that speed determines on who can catch up and who can move on, and you just what zones they're going to meet in. That's what the speed determines, right? So they're going to meet in certain places. How that works in the sense of if I want to put players on the field, I think I'll just try to. What I want to do is have them move to those spots in a smooth fashion. Hopefully, I can set the speed. And the idea is that we set the speed in a way that the players do meet in those places, so because how they're supposed to match up. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting, complex scenario, but I think I can visualize how it's gonna work out. So. And I just gotta play some test data, some test records. I'll put a bunch of guys in, and then I'll probably put like some special case records where I grab players that are certain stats in order to make them fit. So anyway, that's the game that I'm building this off of. I know I've mentioned it a few times what I was planning to do, and that I had mentioned that I was going to build this game off of another game. All right, so I got my data up. Let's go see what happens when I attempt. I guess what I have to do now is actually get my data to save back. So I'm going to attempt to load a. All right, so what I'm going to need, if I have nothing here, let's do this. Let's go back to my React app. And like I said, I don't want to spend a ton of time in React, but the thing is, the React app is going to be a true app. It's going to be part of it. So, and it's the easiest part, and it's a better test bed for me. It's simpler because I don't have to have a mobile phone and set up all the mobile stuff. I can create this web app, and it can be accessible. Easy for testing, right? And then, of course, the goal is to make all that stuff work on the phone, because this phone stuff's going to be way cooler. It's going to do more. It's going to look better. It's just going to be overall better. So, all right, let's go into my app here. Go over here. And now we have to shut this puppy down, man. Time for you to take a break. And we'll raise this up. We're going to go over to my game plan. Here. And we're going to rename this because it's not going to be game plan no more. So we got the coach card, and what do we say? Game plan, offense. Yes. And then we're going to copy that. We're going to call it game plan. You guessed it. It's defense. But we also need to have another one called game plan special teams. Oops. Okay, so the way these are going to work, we will have my is it the coach or yeah, the coach. Coach does all this stuff. That's his thing. Oh no, wait, no, not the coach. That's the page. So we got the game plan, and we're gonna go back over here. Call this game plan offense. There we go. Make sure we return the right value. And then we're going to go over to our page. We're going to change this to game plan offense. And then we're going to go defense, defense, defense. So I've been playing a different football game called the Retro Bowl. I'm sorry. I am burning out on it a little bit, but it's still been kind of getting me playing. It's so frustrating though. The game is designed. The defense is so bad. The defense is so bad. You can't. It's like you get to a point where it's like the challenge level, the difficulty, whatever is set. And the other team, if they're any good, which is about, half the teams or whatever, will score on you every single drive. Almost. I mean, 90% of drives, they'll score on you. It doesn't matter how much you upgrade your defense. They just get to the point where they just score all the time, which means you have to score all the time. And then you just wait for that one or two times when they don't score and hope you score and take the win. Now, luckily, there's half the teams aren't that good, so you can destroy them. Or once in a while you mess up, and because I've had games where I threw like interception after interception because I know you have to score every time. So I'm finding myself forcing the plays, and just because it is a control game, you control a lot of it, and it's I don't know why. And then I'm stubborn. I'm like, I should just let the game play my guy. So it's my guy. My offense is pretty good. So maybe I would just win better. I'd win more often. I know I miss kicks way too much. I know I miss a lot of field goals because they're really hard. And so, yeah, I've been playing that, at least for now. Because like I said, I like football. I mean, even ones that aren't that great make me want to play them sometimes because it's cool. It's fun. But it's also very frustrating. That's why I need to get another game going here. So let's go over here. We're going to go game plan defense. And we will put that on make sure we declare it correctly. And then we have to have special teams. Also means I probably have to go back to my page again. And game plan, wait, why is game plan off not showing up here? Game plan off, that's correct. Why don't you like it? Do I not need it? Game plan offense is right there. Game plan offense. Game plan off. And we are in page. Okay, so we're all good, right? Why doesn't it like it? Am I not using my coach.module? Game plan offense. I don't know why it's complaining that it doesn't like this file. Do I not need it to reference these guys? Thought I did. Unless I did something wrong here. Game plan. This is game plan defense. Alright, well, let's go over here to the page again. We'll just put in the offense, defense, and special teams, see if all of them work. Okay. Why is... Oh, well. Oh, I see what the problem is, because I did not label it right. Game plan, offense, defense. Now, I don't have... Alright, so we got to go into my offense here, and I do have the code here that says, you know, it's blank. So we have a blank. Don't know what it'll do if there's nothing in it though. So what I probably should have is something of the something like game plan res. If there's nothing in it, let's say, oops, game plan res. Well, maybe. I'm not sure. I think I have to say something like if game plan res, and then we'll do this. All right. I'm not used to putting conditionals around my large blocks of rendering data. Usually it would be like a component, like it would be stored in its own. Maybe that's what I need to do. Break this out into a component, or, you know, a constant or something, and then just lay out that constant. Let's go like this. So we have this. And if I were to take all of go here. We'll take this guy all the way down to here. Okay, and we go. I just got to make sure I write this correctly, so go talk to my buddy. Hey, buddy, 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 pal. The row does not render if the game situation object is empty. You can add a check for object emptiness with the .map function. Here's how you can modify. Oh, see, look, there's a better way to do it than what I was going to do. Maybe. Yes, maybe. Nope. Maybe? What's it doing? You know, I was trying to do a Copilot in my Visual Studio. I couldn't get it to load. I mean, I can do it in VS Code, but for some reason, I could not get this to work. Open chat window. Oh, maybe, wait, maybe it is working. What the heck? All right, maybe it does work. Let's try this. Get up thinking. All right, what do we got? It's not really doing much else there. Whew, it's writing a whole miraculous, holy guacamole. Glad I broke up the defense part. Because blank rates an entire row out like this. But I could probably reduce this quite a bit. I don't know if I like all this gray anyway, but add new row. What is this one? Handle change. Blank game situation. Huh. All right, so we're back up here. What did it do that was different? Is game situation empty? Game situation.map, game situation index. So is game situation empty? They're creating this little object here. I do like that there's a filter here, because now you know what? That's good. I like that. Let's do this. We're going to go back. We're going to reopen this here. I'm going to co-pilot. I'm going to say Canadian Bacon Gaming. Are we? This I'm writing a game. That's why I'm under category gaming or football or whatever I happen to set it out. But I am writing a football game. That's what's going on. So that's why. I do actually. Well, you know, everybody's got their thing. You know, some people are like great at art. That's not me. So some people can program. I can kind of sort of do it. I can at least make out enough to understand how to create the underlying logic. This is fun though, because I like football. I like playing games that are football. Oh, no, you're something. There's something there. Everybody's got something. If nothing else, I'd imagine you're a pretty decent gamer in some game or another. Because you have, I mean, you know, you mix Canadian bacon and gaming. I mean, you got to be good at something there. I mean, if nothing else, you got to like decent pizza. Canadian bacon and pineapple, I hope, because, you know. Actually, you know, I'm kind of moderate one. I have my moments. Depends on the game. Depends on the amount of commitment I put into it. I can be pretty good. I am not the kind of guy though who can become, you know, I'm not going to raise the ranks and destroy everybody like some of these people do. But yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah. Now when I say football, by the way, I'm not talking soccer. I'm talking about American football. And I always complain that I'm like, man, the rest of the world, you have another name for your sport. It doesn't have to be football. You have soccer. Soccer is another name that works. American football does not have another name. There is no other name for American football. It's just football. All we got. So just let us have that one, and everybody else go get soccer. Go play soccer. Anyway, so since 2009, well, you had a year then, huh? You were good back in 2009. For me, it's always been, it depends on the game. Like I think I'm pretty good at tactical games. In Canada, yeah. Hey, I know the Colorado took one of your teams back. How long has that been? God, it's been a long time since Colorado got the Avalanche. Film school, see? Well, there you go. That's something. That's a creative endeavor. I am just not a creative guy. I am not a creative guy. No, that's not true. I'm a creative guy. I'm creative in the sense that I can create games. I can create the logic and how they function and how they come together, how they work. But how they look, I have visions in my head of this would look really cool with that. But it's always like this fuzzy, I can really visualize it, but I wouldn't know the first place to go to try to make that happen. I started drawing it. It was like, but I'd be like scribbles. I'd be like, but you got to understand. And then I'm writing chicken scratch all over the screen. It's like, I'm drawing it out for you. Just do this. And they'd be like, I don't even know what that is. It's like, no, but it's so clear in my head. It looks, you just got to know what I'm thinking, not what I'm drawing. So eventually I'm going to have to get some talent in that area, or I'm going to have to hire some. So, because I'm going to need it for this game to look as nice as I want it to. I have some big plans for this game. It's going to be cool. It's going to run great. It's going to be functionally awesome. But I don't know how I'm going to do the graphics. So And shortly I'll be booting it up again because I have to update stuff. So once I get this piece in place, I will boot it up again and I'll show you. I mean, you probably could see it through any one of my previous streams. I've had it running a number of times. But I'm slowly just adding more and more features. Oh yeah, no, I use AI a ton. AI is like, whenever I'm doing this, and I refer to my buddies, I'm referring to AI. And I say buddies, it's because I'm talking to Copilot or Claude or GitHub Copilot, which is a different Copilot, or ChatGPT or Black Box AI. There's so many of them, and I'll give them all a shot if I can, just to get my answer. Kind of slow to type though. Perfect, dude. You got me. See, that's AI right there. It's Copilot giving me the fix. I always think, sometimes I'm like, you don't need to write the entire thing out. Just show me what needs to change. It's just like, change this to this. That's all I need. I don't need you to write the whole thing out. Insert this, change this to this. This way I could see exactly what you're changing. Quebec Nordiques. Are they any good? I go down the rabbit hole a lot. In fact, a lot of these AIs will drag me into a rabbit hole. I'm like, after I don't even realize that I've spent, way too long on something, and I'm like, oh, you sucked me in, didn't you? You taking me off into this tangent of stuff I did not want to go down. All right, so it's not actually offense. It's going to be 1. I use numbers. I like numbers better than words. Comparing the strings it's just not pretty. I mean, it may be readable, but then you have to worry about case and all kinds of other blah. Just don't get me going on that, man. Okay. So really, if I do this, oops. Then go over to my defense, because these are exactly the same plans. And I don't like using redundant code. Redundant? Yeah, redundant code. But I don't want these components overlapping and they're doing the same thing, because it just ends up creating copies. There was only a way to do this. Yeah, maybe I'll ask AI. Give me an idea. 'Cause I don't. Where did my stuff go? Oh, there it is. That's where it got buried. Okay, so we're gonna go to our defensive plan, and we will go from here, and then we'll just go up here and we'll set this little value to 2. Let's see if I can refactor this some way so I don't have so much redundant code. It's not. Oh, the Quebec Nordiques were the Avalanche. They must have been pretty bad, right? I mean, who gives up their team unless they're just really bad? Or I guess a greedy owner. That's the other option. Ooh, you're going to pay me how much? Hey, they're yours. And all fans are like, what? Wait, what? And then I heard that they, if I remember correctly, they had never won a championship. And like 2 years after they moved to Colorado, they won the championship. Which, it had to be like a real kick in the teeth, man. That would have sucked. Have a team leave and then have that happen. It's just wrong. I feel for you guys. I feel for whoever lost them. And really, overall, they've been a really successful team since they moved to Colorado. They've won like, I don't know, 2 or 3 championships, I think, since they've moved down there. And they've been in the playoffs and in the race constantly. All right, so let's see if I broke anything. '90s. Has it been the '90s? Have they been in Colorado that long? Wow. That is. I didn't realize it was even that long. I thought it was like. I thought they moved in the early 2000s. Like they were, you know, they only got down to Colorado. Wow. Alexa, how many times have the Avalanche won the championship?
The Colorado Avalanche has won the Stanley Cup 3 times, with their most recent win being in 2022.
Just 2 years ago was the last one. Yeah, I live up in the Northwest, but I've always been a Broncos fan, so I follow a lot of the Colorado teams. And I say I'm a Broncos fan and I follow the other teams because I don't follow them like diehard. I follow the Broncos a lot more. But yeah, Colorado must have been on a spurt back then because that was about the same time that they got the Rockies. So I was like, hey, we just need to get one of everything. We need a baseball team. We need a hockey team. We already have a fantastic football team and a terrible basketball team. Until recently, they won their first championship, like, was it the year before last? That's how bad the Nuggets were. I mean, they've been terrible since the beginning of time. And all of a sudden, these last few years, they had a great run and won the championship and almost got to it again. But yeah, man, you know, who knows if they'll get back there. But I think a lot of those guys, see if they can hold it together. All right, so I'm trying to think. All right, so I got this set up to load. It should load up with blanks now because there's no data coming back. Let's go see if that works. It might actually error now that I think about it because I didn't actually start my services. Let's go start my services though. At the very least, I must have them started. If it'll let me. So they move in 95 and then win the next year? Oh my gosh. That's just like, oh, that's so brutal. I remember it like it had to be brutal for the Quebec. Gosh, all those years, never a win. Oh, it's almost like they left and they saved it just in spite of them. Jeez, I know. That's rough, man. That's yeah. You know, Seattle lost the Sonics sometime back, and the Oklahoma team that they became almost won the championship. I think they almost did the same thing within a year or two. Well, yeah, that's got to be that's got to be near impossible, right? What are the odds? I mean, you usually only relocate because your team is bad, right? So, especially if they've got a history of being bad. And so the odds of relocating and winning the championship within a year have got to be like astronomical. And I'm sure when they moved, nobody thought that was going to happen. I mean, they probably figured, they'll be down here, they'll get some growing pains, maybe they'll come together in a few years. But the next year, it's almost like everybody hated it in Quebec so much that they just refused to play well. And then when they get to Colorado, which, by the way, is a cold city. I mean, it's cold in Denver in the winter. It's not like the greatest thing, but they go there's this place is pretty nice. Let's play good. Let's go ahead and put some effort forth. Yeah, that's probably what it was. I do not know what this guy is saying. Do you know what he's saying? I don't know what he's saying, man. We need to leave. Let's go down to Colorado. At least they speak English down there. Yeah, like it was the player's choice. Like they had any real say in it, but... Oh, that's what he wanted. He wants us to put the puck in the net. That's what he was saying. He wasn't saying hit each other with it. He was saying push the puck into the net. Oh, I thought there was something weird about that. Oh, something broke. Oh, what did I do? Oh, for one, I did not build my package. I gotta build that back up. And I gotta go start my services. Let's go here. So we're gonna go to here. I'm gonna go CD game plan. I'm gonna go npm run. No. npm build. No. What was it? Not build. Go build. Go build. What am I doing? Go build. Alright, so now we can go run. And hopefully that'll start. Yep. Okay. Now we're going to go here. We'll go CD gateway. We'll say go run. Nope. Go build. Dot just for the sake of getting everything in place, and then we'll say go run. Alrighty. So that one's good. Now we're up and running. Now we will go back here. I will go back here, and I will build this guy up. How many Canadian teams are there? Is that... There's a few of them, right? I mean, hockey's a Canadian sport, right? So there should be at least a handful of Canadian teams left, right? You guys still have a baseball team too, don't you? Because I know the Expos, didn't the Expos move? I think the Expos were kind of the opposite of the Avalanche. There was rumors that they were going to move, and then suddenly they got really good and won. Won the championship or something, like the year they were going to move or something. And yeah, something real close to that time frame. And so they ended up sticking around for a little while. I don't know if I think they finally ended up moving anyway, but it's like they were on the bus. I mean, they were scheduled to leave, and then they just started doing really good and making a run at the championship. You're keeping a toe in the sports under all circumstances. Yeah, see, there's a lot of... I knew there was a lot of Canadian hockey left, because that's kind of where it all started, I think. or mostly. I mean, we've had a hockey team, but you know. You got the most people to support it. So I'll show you. This is where the game is at right now, assuming I didn't break it, doing all this other stuff. But maybe. assuming it loads. Okay. It really takes a minute to draw for some reason. There you go. So this is my football game so far. And I'm having issues with my game clock though, because sometimes it doesn't count down the way it's supposed to. I mean, it is counting down, but it's doing it in chunks. It's supposed to do it in rapid fire. It's like it's supposed to go fast based on the amount of time that these plays are taking. And it is counting them down, but a lot of times if I restart it might do it. There it goes. Let's see. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So now the clock is counting down like it's supposed to. Now this is the game clock, which play clock, sorry. And then this one doesn't tick all the time because sometimes it's an incomplete pass or it's something that stops the clock. That's why this one doesn't always tick. But this is the play clock, so it's always ticking. And I have it set where the plays are only like 5 seconds, even though it's supposed to be 40 seconds. So this is ticking down really quick. And then you can kind of see how the ball moves up and down the field. I've got a lot of stuff to do though. This is just like this is essentially the proof of concept work. I'm slowly starting to add actual behind the scenes football stuff. Yeah, I've been doing it. So like I have Denver's next game is against Cincinnati. So I've been running all these simulations against Cincinnati, but it doesn't even have players in it. So it's all happening with just, play generating. But the end goal of this, I actually have some stats I bought from Stats Inc. for one season to build a board game, which is all the pieces in this box. And I have a whole rule set up. In fact, I was going over that earlier in this stream. But I have all these rules for a football game. And I brought in all the stats because I'm going to use real live NFL stats to build player skills. And I already built all the formulas. I spent like 2 months or 3 months building these formulas that would take all their actual skills and create and use them to build the logic for the formulas that determine their speed, their hands, their tackling, their whatever they did. And so I wanted to be able to have all that in there, so I'm going to put that all in here. And then I have logic for how those players all interact with each other, tackling whatever they're doing. So my logic in this game is going to translate the board game logic on how players move on the field into real life stats having an effect on how they perform on the field. And then that's how the plays will actually generate their distances and how they function. Well, it's just my thing. I like creating things that are functional, and I love it when it's doing something that I enjoy, like creating a game. I mean, creating games. I've always loved creating games, and I actually created my first board game, and this one never got released. But I actually went back and revisited it. I kept it. It's called All the King's Men. And basically, you're trying to take over these 4 castles on a board, and you move throughout the board, and you try to build up your armies, and then you go try to fight the castles around the corners. This game, I built it when I was like 17 or 18. A friend of mine and we were just like hanging out. And we go, let's make a board game. So we both just started sitting down creating a game. It wasn't the same game. He did his game, I did my game. His game never really came into anything, but we played mine a bunch of times. It was pretty fun. And I thought, one of these days I'd like to publish this, but this is way back. And I just kept it lying around. But since then, I've developed like 4 or 5 more games that haven't been released because I don't do graphics. My games look terrible. They're fun, but they look terrible. And I don't have any art skills. So, can't have it all, I guess. I almost did a Kickstarter. I created a game called the Puzzle Exchange, kind of like the New York Stock Exchange, because you're trading puzzle pieces and you're building a puzzle, and the first one to build a puzzle wins. And it's like a party game, a race game where you're all trying to build your puzzle first, but you have to get your pieces from other players. And it's just a big race, and you throw the pieces around on the table. They're thick, heavy pieces, and they're square. And it seems easy, right? But the thing is, the puzzles are face down, and you can't tell which way they rotate or which way is up. And you have to get it right while it's face down. So you're doing this bit while you're trying to figure out and rotate and trying to understand how the pieces are with the pieces on the table face down. So people don't know which puzzle you're working on, and sometimes you don't either, because some of the puzzles have similar pieces. And you're like, does that piece go on here? You're like trying to put it in. And people I've play tested it with really like it. I actually paid somebody to help me get a couple of pieces of art so I could put it on there. But it's gonna have to have like 15 pieces. And one of the crucial things about it is it's eye candy, right? You're building a puzzle. It's got to be cool puzzles. And again, art. I don't have any clue on how to. And plus, it's just not my thing. I don't even know that I want to do that. It's not my interest. I like things to look cool. I'd rather guide someone to create what I'm visualizing in my head than to actually do it myself. So there you go. It's eventually this is going to be a mobile app that can do a lot more than what you're seeing here. I want plays that are being selected to pop up on the field and show, and then you can see which plays are getting selected. Canadian Clark Kent. Hey man, Clark Kent. All right. As you can tell, I'm a little bit of a Superman fan, based on my logo there, and even my beautiful Christmas sweater. No, not ugly. Yeah, well, you got to start somewhere. Yeah, that's me. I'm Soups. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure those glasses of yours are fake. I bet you don't even need them. Hey, Nintendo, how's it going, man? All right, let's see if my coaching thing loaded up. It erred. Some properties are undefined. What? 7 errors. Holy moly, that's a lot of errors. Something totally went wonky on that one. Console.error. Request failed with status code 5. Wow, it did not like that call. Did it actually show an error over here? Oh yeah, look at that. Game plan not found for user 123. Why? Oh. Did I actually call it with a number? So we got user 123. What? I think I need to make this not crash when it doesn't find something. I think what I need to do, I'm wondering if I should either not find something or create it, because every player has a game plan. And I think I need to have it default a game plan. So if somebody calls it, like say a brand new user hasn't done anything yet, clicks on game plan, it should return a blank game plan. That's what I think. Or I don't return blank game plan, and then they put in their game plan, and it saves the game plan. No, because there has to be... Hmm. What you twitch? What you twitch? What do you mean, what you twitch? What, you twitch? Trying to decide what would be better. I think because eventually I'm going to have AI or what do you call it? Well, basically AI game plans that are used by the system when it's playing against you, and I don't want to have them be overly complex. You know, I want people to be able to create their own, but I want to have a game plan for like the basic coaches in AI that'll do some stuff. But I'm trying to decide if I should start with a blank or start with an AI game plan. I think I should start with a blank. Just let people create their own game plans. Thing is, there has to be some kind of a default game plan, because if a user creates a game and then just decides to go play a game and they don't have a game plan, then I don't know. I guess it's all right, because what I'll probably end up doing is just letting the games run. Because maybe I'll just use the dummy coach. If they don't create their own game plan, I'll use the dummy coach. The dummy coach is this coach. All it does, I'll show you what my dummy coach. The dummy coach is like I think it's probably the best one to use for a brand new player who just hasn't messed with their game plan. The dummy coach basically punts on 4th down unless he's in range for a field goal. Will try for a field goal. Does 2-point conversions on random attempts. It has a percentage chance of going for a 2-point conversion. Does kickoffs after a score. I mean, it's all just very generic. This is the entire breadth of the dummy coach, the basic coach, versus, you know, doing your own game plan where you can actually it's like you kick a field goal when you're in range, or try, you play 1, 2, 3, but like, it doesn't take into consideration things like running or throwing a medium pass or a long pass or a short pass or any kind of pass, really. It does. I mean, it just says pass. It just says throw pass, and then it'll randomly grab one of the passes in the playbook and throw that pass. So it may be a long pass when you only need a yard. It may be a terrible choice of pass because it's just going to randomly pick one. It's not going to do anything special. So that's what I mean by the dummy coach. He's not going to consider, I only want to do a quick run. If it's only got, I got 1 yard to go, I want to try to, maybe I'll do a quarterback sneak or something. But this coach wouldn't consider that. One yard is the same as 20 yards. It just goes for whatever, and it's all random. To me, that would be the dummy coach's job. I want the player to have the choice of creating, their own game situations. And once I get this loaded and stop having an error, which shouldn't take me too much longer, unless I keep talking, then it'll take way longer. Yeah, I'm working on. I want this game's going to be, 1 yard Hail Mary. There you go. Drop back 16 yards and just go for it. You never know. If the other team's thinking you're going to go for 1 yard, maybe they'll put everybody on the line, and there won't be anybody back there to cover when you just run down the field. Or everybody comes rushing through and they sack you for 15 yards because the entire team is taking you out, and their man-on-man coverage was enough to put you down. I don't know. Never know how that could go. It's not the common thing, but it's a workable thing. Teams have done it. It depends, though. I mean, that's why it's you, because if it's fourth down, you're less likely to try that. Like, if you really need the yard, you're not going to take the risk. If it's third down, you might, but it's not as likely unless you feel like, you're already down. They're going to kick a field goal anyway if you miss. But if it's late in the game, there's the conditions that could come up. It's like, wow, there's only a minute left, and I need to get a field goal at least. I can't risk this, Or other times it could be, I'm winning by 30. Let's just huck the ball down there, see what happens. So there's all these conditions that you could consider, and you can set up your game plan accordingly. Because the difference in this game in Madden, I'm not planning at this point to have any player control. You're not going to be on there with a joystick controlling anything. And I like the idea of being the guy calling the plays. you found a Twitch. Yes, you're a coach calling the plays. It's going to be a sim game where, like what you saw, except it's going to be way more in depth. You're going to be able to train your players and coach, and your coaches will gain skill. Your players will get skills or experience to increase their skills. There will be player cards and stuff that you can see who you're getting. You're going to be able to get cards, add to your collection. But unlike a lot of the other football games that are card related, it's not going to be one of those gotcha games where you're just constantly trying to get the next card up and ultimate power, right? My game is going to be designed where the game is designed to be balanced for all the cards that you have in the league or in the head-to-head. And the game comes first. I want the game to work. So all of the pay elements will be dressing or maybe some extra opportunities, like maybe you can rename the teams and the players and just things that are extra. And some of that stuff, I may even just be one-time charges, not like constant. I'm not a huge pay-to-play or free-to-play game fan because of those things that they're always they block you from playing the game. You can't play it because you need new players and then a lot of them, the game, if you really pay attention to a lot of those gotcha games, the game part of the game, the actual fighting or adventuring or tower defensing or sport that you're playing, they're all kind of weak in the game. They're great at giving you lots of stuff to keep trying to get more cards and players and money and whatevers. And you could spend weeks trying to get your guys strong enough in order to do the next thing. Yeah, then there's always the anime women and the jiggly physics. There's that too. It's the looks, right? You're just going for the looks. A lot of those games are of that nature too. But some of the sports games take that same tact, like I said, the front page, head coach 25. The game I've been playing lately, Retro Bowl 25 or Retro Pro Football or whatever it is, it's actually kind of like an 8-bit game. It doesn't really have a lot of that, pay-to-play stuff. It does have a pay thing, one-time payment, extra jiggle for $11 a month. Nice. All right, Clark Kent. See you in a bit. No, it's like these games have so much of that extra stuff, but it's like the game is bad. And I'm like, I want the game to be good. Because to me, that's what I want people to come back for. I want them to come back and play the game. But they're like, okay, I want to make my team more successful. So I'm going to work on training this, or, I want to be able to get a better coach, or, maybe I'll draft, I need to draft a better a receiver or a quarterback or whatever the heck, but they got to fit in my salary cap because I can't just go getting anybody. And, oh man, wouldn't that be nice? I actually thought about trying to do something like that, make this a free to play that one of two things. One, there's a max payment. In other words, you could pay X dollars and just get everything. You get all the content. Even the extra. I mean, you have a chance, you have a shot at all the content. So you would still have to play maybe to at least earn, but you would earn it at a really fast rate. So if something came up, because you got to have something to work for. I mean, if I just gave you all the cards in the game as they came out, that'd be kind of silly. But you could pay a flat amount. Is what I'm considering it. I got to decide if that's feasible. But like you could pay a fixed amount and then you're good. You don't ever have to pay again. But you can earn all the stuff in the game at a rate that's comfortable. You don't have to play like stupid amounts, but you'll play regularly to earn the stuff, and it's all available to you. There's nothing locked out. And other people could just play, because my thought was everything or almost everything in the game would be able to be earned. At the very least, you would earn enough credit that it would at anything you could earn enough credit that it would be a discount to buy stuff, the extra things that you might want to get. But there's a lot of minutia and all that, so I got to decide. I mean, I'm not to the point where I'm implementing any of that crap right now. That's what happens after I've kind of got all the base stuff working, everything's working, and then I'm like, okay, now I got to start figuring out how to add the eye candy, the extra stuff, the pay elements without blocking up the game. I don't want to. I'm basically going to have all the game elements are going to be outside of the whole pay element. That's out here, and the game is on its own, does its own thing. It's totally separate. When I talk on YouTube, it's delaying. Oh, you're talking about. Is it like freezing delaying, or is it just got a long gap between what I say and what I say and when it appears? Yeah, I don't know. I think Twitch used to have a pretty big delay too, but I think it's gotten better. I don't know what Twitch is. YouTube. I mean, I can see it. I have it on my phone over here because I have to make sure it's running, right, that it hasn't blown up. And I look, and yeah, I can see it's a good. Even Twitch is a good 30 seconds behind me. So I talk, and then people reply 30 seconds later, and I'm like, what? What are you replying to? I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. That was so long ago, man. So basically, I need to stop talking every, say a sentence and then wait 30 seconds. Oh, is it worse? Is it worse on YouTube? You know why that is? It's because I'm not important. The higher viewership you have on the stream, and the more followers or subscribers you have, the shorter the delay is. That's how that works. This is why all the popular people, you barely ever see delays. If they've got 10,000, 50,000 people, there's barely any delay in what they're doing. But if you're a nobody who has a brand new channel that he's trying to build up, you're going to have to wait a while. Unless everybody wants to come and join. Twitch does the same thing. Twitch has a delay too. It's just not as maybe it's not as pronounced, but they all do it. Which is a bummer because it's a big difference. And it's hard sometimes to talk because, like I say, I'll reply to people's stuff pretty much as soon as it appears. Because when you type, it shows up to me pretty much right away. So I reply, and then you have to wait for the reply. Because you got to wait 30 seconds for it to show up. All right, so I need to make this. I got to make a decision on this. My brain has been going back and forth on this. it would be easier, at least at this point, to just have it be blank. All right, so we're good with that. I need my game plan response to return an empty response if the user ID gets is not found rather than error. Best to implement. Honestly, I think I'm going to eventually. Oh yeah, well that's good. Maybe on Twitch it's not too bad. Like you said, it's worse on YouTube. Maybe the gap is just bigger. I sometimes if I don't reply really long, I'll be like, oh, it must have been the delay. Oh, it must be getting really bad. Hey, but I need a, hey, if you know anybody who does use YouTube, I've heard YouTube is really not that popular of a live streaming service yet. I mean, it's got people. Nintendo comes around a lot. A few other people like to come around, but I get most of my followers on YouTube after the fact, like in post. Almost, I'd probably say 90% of my YouTube followers show up on like they'll follow me after they've seen my videos. But a lot of them don't even come around when I'm streaming live. And then others, but I get like on Twitch, it's totally the opposite. My streams are up for like 60 days on Twitch, but I get nothing after. I mean, rarely do I get any new follower or new followers or whatever Twitch has. I get them mixed up. Followers and subscribers. Yeah, it's followers. On Twitch after the stream is ended. So if I don't get, if you don't follow me while I'm streaming, you typically don't if you're on Twitch. It happens. I've gotten a few, but it's very rare. Where it's a total opposite on YouTube. So people have to kind of come to the YouTube channel and discover you, which is it's okay, but it just takes a while. And I was on a roll growing up my other channel. This is why I didn't want to split it up. But the fact is, what I'm doing here is totally different from from the other stuff I do. And it might be really interesting to some people, but a lot of people wouldn't be. Yeah, and on Twitch, I've got 150, 140 something followers, maybe, I don't remember. And then on YouTube, I think I'm like 120, 130. But on this new channel, I'm like 3. And I had to twist some people's arm to get them to go follow the other channel. I said, go try my other channel. go do it. I almost need to do my other YouTube channel just once or twice a week, just to let people know who who were coming around regularly, to let them know that I moved all my stuff to this other channel. Just to kind of do it for a few weeks and do at least one of my programming streams on the other channel, just so that they can kind of get the update that maybe I could do like a oh, you're looking at my other channels. Our second account is 4. Yeah, no, that's about right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you got to let people know, and you got to be there so they can come and look, right? Because like that might be That's actually a good idea. I should create a thumbnail that says move, you know, a thumbnail on that stream that says move to whatever. Because a lot of people, like I say, watch my streams in post. And since that one has a lot more followers, it tends to come up a little bit more on searches. So if I create it and say now I moved over to this other channel, just put a thumbnail on it for the ID. When people see that, hopefully they'll shift over. That's a good idea. You used to steam? Yeah. How did you feel? Does it make your muscles feel good? I like the steam room too. It's pretty cozy. One of the nice things about being the person who's talking is I don't get any typos. I don't ever have typos. Not to say I don't ever have tongue typos. Or I'm just kind of babbling. I do that plenty. Tacos. You have tacos? Tacos. Gotta love tacos. Alright, I asked the question. I didn't even try to go fix it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Store.go. Let's go over to store.go. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, store.go. Here we go. Get game plan by user ID. And, all right. So return an empty game plan instead of an error when no document is found. Here's how to update your store implementation. All right. We will do that. Control C. Oops. Wait, don't want to stop. What is it? You just like gonna ignore me? What the heck? Game darn code. Stop ignoring me. I'm telling you to stop. Stop it! What is going on here? Shall the following extensions have contributed to the terminal's environment? Enables the following features. Can provide the following extensions want to relaunch the terminal to contribute to its environment. Enables use of the okay. Alright, so what do I do? Click here. It's funny, it's got this little link at the bottom, says relaunch terminal. And alright, man. Good idea. Kids like to eat. There's a little link that says relaunch terminal. But I can't actually go to it. It's like, nope. It's not going to let me do it. Alright, let's close that. And then I will relaunch the terminal. And we'll CD, game plan. And then we'll go see, go build. Let me take go run. All right, go here and try that. Some properties are undefined. That might actually be an issue of local. Yeah, so you didn't have no trouble returning that. I apparently did not return a full output though. So what did it pre-create for the dummy? I think the problem is I need to create my table. I think that has to happen first. At some point, I need to create my table because the table doesn't exist, so it doesn't know what to bring. It's sending a blank, but a blank with nothing in it. So I think I need to actually run my curl command just to get this thing loaded. Wrong one. Go to OneNote, which is right there. Then we'll go down here. Go to my Pro Football Fantasy Manager. Go here, testing. We're going to copy this guy. I'll send him away. Then we're going to go new one. Bash. And then we're just going to run this nice little curl command here. Now, my user is user123, although that's just my test user. Now it actually has data. Oh, at least so I thought it did. What? What the heck? You're supposed to have data, man. What the heck, man? Where's my log command? I forgot what the log command looks like. It's like print something. Print line. Print F? I think it's print F, but that's not the parent object. Here it is. Log.fatal. Oh, it's log.fatal. Log.print. That's what I want. Go to store. And then we're going to go. What was it? Get this guy. All right, so we got if error is not equal to nil. Return other errors as normal. Initialize empty slice. Return empty game plan when the document is found. Log.printf. User ID. User not found. I think. No? Let's go user ID. Can I just type user ID here? There we go. No. Oh. Yeah, probably should still be there. No? Oh, it should be in the database, right? That's what I think. That's what I'd be thinking. Let's go over to my game plan and see what this actually returns. I expect this should return something. Whoa, that is not what I expected to see. that is not a complete output. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta go to bio. Mexican wedding cakes. I know people have different names for them. They're basically cookies with powdered sugar all over them. Delicious. And I'm one of the people who like my cookies a little dark, a little. I don't want to say burned, but maybe a little burned. Just have that nice little extra toastiness. And it's like my daughter and my wife, when they make cookies like that, they go, "Oh, I burned these ones," and I'm like, I look at them, I'm going, "What are you talking about? They're perfect," because they're not usually like black and all over. They're just the bottoms are a little dark, maybe a little burned, but those are great. And these ones, she says, those ones are a little extra crispy, and I'm like, oh, they're so good. But gotta have some real food first. So cold pizza it is. Okay, so I passed in a complete JSON. Well, you know what? Is that even true? Because when I did this one, when I did the store, but the store may not have pulled it from the database. It seems like, what good does it do you to have like this curl command? I told it put this in the database, and then it gave me this, right? So basically it just showed me what I gave it. But if all it's doing is giving me what I gave it, then I don't even know that I went in the database. I kind of thought this was my proof that I went in the database, but it might not be. Start, create indexes, game plan, create game plan. Create game plan. What does that return? Return the game plan. But it doesn't return necessarily what was in the database. It just returns what you gave it. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I think is my curl command still broken? Because I think it's supposed to be, oh, it's supposed to be user 123. I think my post is broken. API users. Oh, I passed user ID. Oh, but it's not reading it from that. That's not going to be right. This is wrong. Okay, so let's try this again. This is wrong. Let's do this guy. And then we're going to go back. Oops. Go back here. It might be users, but I think it's supposed to be user 123. Aha! There we go. That returned what I expected to see. So my problem is some properties are not defined. Problem is, what are the properties that aren't defined? I'd imagine this one is first. So let's go here and see what this does. Nope. Where is it? Where is it stumbling at? Alright, so we got the response. Now we're getting values back, so the question is, what values are not defined? That is the question of the day. Oh, weird. Okay. I didn't realize I have an air handler that's saying there's properties undefined. The ID is undefined. Do I even use the ID? I don't know if I need that. User ID, even user ID don't put out. Play type ID, leading by, mid, left, distance, down. Yeah, I don't need that field. Am I using it in here? No. I mean, why is ID blank? That is a good question, but still, I don't even know if I need it. And the question is it blank, or am I getting this weird response that this is nothing? Nope, that's got game plan. Game plan res has stuff in it. So there's a user ID. I don't know why ID is GS1, but that's under game situation 1. I don't really have a game plan ID though. I don't know why we're doing that one. Just for user ID and then the game situations. Huh. Do I need a game plan ID? I should probably have one, but I don't know if I need one. Oddly enough, I should have a game plan ID. Why isn't it returning it? Because I think it does exist. I think if I go here and actually look, I'm pretty sure my game plan does have an ID. Yeah, see, I do have an ID there. So why isn't it returning that? That's the question. Did I not actually give it one? Oh. Well, I did give it one when I created that. Weird. So I did create an ID. Oh, maybe I can't create it because it's the wrong kind of... Here's the problem with powdered sugar. If it gets on your lips at all, and you talk, poof, you end up with powdered sugar all over your keyboard. So you got to make sure it's completely dissolved and gone before you start talking again. Alright, so I do have an ID. The question is, why is it not returning the ID? Do I have any things kicking it out? Did I do that wrong? Maybe I don't need this one. Nope. Nope, wrong language. Let's go back here and open up my Go Pilot again. What is wrong? What is wrong with this line? With this line? The line is that the variable active user is not being interpolated correctly within the temporal literal. This can happen if the variable is not in the correct scope or if there is a typo. However, in this case, the variable active user is correctly defined outside the temporal literal, so it should work as expected. To ensure everything is correct, let's review the code snippet. Well, I don't know that it's not working. It just doesn't look right because it didn't color correctly. The line const res and should correctly, as long as active users define the scope, which it is. If you are still encountering issues, consider checking. I'm not really encountering issues. I just kind of thought there would be one because the color is wrong. But it's telling me, nah, you should be good. It's like, all right, well, maybe I'm good. Maybe it's just a weird way it's colored. Oh, this doesn't. Oh, this doesn't have the ID. Why? When I run a get command, get curl, the game plan ID is not returning. Okay. Oh, I need to reference the correct game plan. And I'll try to save back to the database. I mean, I guess I don't have to. I could just go by user ID. There's only one game plan per user ID, but I mean, you only get one game plan, folks. I thought about trying to have a coach have a game plan. But the drawback with that is the drawback to having a coach with a game plan is that means you would, if you decide to try a different coach or whatever, you would lose your game plan. And you can put a lot of work into those game plans. Alexa, turn on heater.
I found more than one device with the name Office Heater.
No.
Give them unique names, then run
Alexa, quiet. Alexa, turn on Blue Beetle.
Okay. Firing phasers. Pew pew.
What? Alexa, turn on Blue Beetle. Somehow she got the intention that I wanted her to fire all phasers, because then she said, pew pew. She says, okay, fire all phasers. Pew pew. I don't remember saying anything that sounded like that, but pew pew. Oh, Alexa, you're funny. Okay. I'm cold. I always turn it on when I'm cold, which is like meaning I'm too late. Alright, on to the next step. So I decided I don't need that. And I can just work around it. So that works fine for me. So we'll go over here. And then I will go back to my game plan data. No, game plan defense, which will probably be the same thing. I don't need this to be there. And I don't need this to be there. And we need to do the same thing with the offense. And we can stop it, I guess. It doesn't like it when I do that. It'll punish me by making me wait. At least it doesn't crash. So I've been lucky. I've been lucky lately. Lucky. And I hope I'm not speaking prematurely here, but my video card disconnects pretty consistently, at least once a day. So far, it's disconnected twice today, and both times it was right after I logged out, which is good because it usually does it while I'm streaming. Close. All right, fingers crossed. So I've got a database. I've got data going to a database. I've got data coming back from a database. So I am now completed my first step task of creating and connecting a database. Actually, it was a lot easier than I expected. I went way easier than I expected. I thought it was going to be one of those multi-day processes. Now let's see what happens if I just let it run. Yeah. Ta-da! I now have offense and offense and offense. I should probably change the titles on those. Game plan defense. All right, let's see here. The top of this should be defense. Should I just go defense? Let's go capital. Let's make this pop a little bit. And special teams. I should probably even make that the space. And then we'll save all of it. There you go, offense, defense, and special teams. I could probably change the colors too, but now we've got a blank, ready for intake game plan. Woohoo! Now, hopefully it'll work. I have not even come close to gathering this data, writing the function that's going to gather this data and put it into a nice, neat JSON to send back to the database. But that's the next step. So I'll get that going here. I've got 45 minutes. Let's see what we can do. Now, this little stuff you see up here is I made up a name of a coach. It's actually a real coach, but I what do you call it? Anagrammed his name, and I can't remember who it was I picked. So, yeah, I don't know. It's something. I feel like I should know it, but I can't think of it. But okay, so there's supposed to be a coach photo there. I was gonna put like a coach photo in, and I'm not sure how many of my coaches are going to be real coaches. They could just all be fake coaches. But it doesn't matter really. I mean, coaches are coaches. I always thought, I mean, real coaches might be cool, but there's no real stats. So if I really wanted to do something cool with them, is because they all have like traits or abilities or whatever, they have an effect. I'd have to research the coaches that I put on here. You know, there's a number of coaches out there. I'd have to do some research on all of them. You know, some of them would just be generic, but like you could find out what their tendencies were, what they kind of like to play, what was their specialty. You know, you just have to find like NFL coaches and start reading up a little bit on each one, and then you just kind of take some notes, and then you build in the abilities and stuff that are created according to those coaches. Probably would like to get all the coaches for a given year, but maybe I'll even throw in some random extra coaches. You know, people like, I don't know, maybe the developer will be a coach. Who is that? I don't know. Just somebody might want to put in there, be a random coach. Never know. Maybe he'll be the greatest coach since ever. We'll see. Or he won't be in there at all. I don't know. But anyway, so this is the premise between all this. So you put in what down and distance that you're interested in. You know, ultimately it's like going to be, you put in a distance, and that's kind of like the minimum, right? So if you put in first down and a yard to go, I want you to run this play. Maybe you always throw a bomb on 1st and 1. Like if for some reason penalties got you up there and you're like 1 yard away, you always want to throw a bomb, or like you set that as a favored choice. You could put a favored play in to say, hey, go for the big play, man. I've got, it's first down, whatever. You could also say maybe try a medium pass as a second choice. And then here you would pick a specific play that you like from your playbook for each of these items. That's what 1 and 2 are. And then you would hit save, and it would put it into the, it would build, it would create a record on here and allow you to build up your game plan. And when it saves, my thought is it's going to save immediately. It's going to add it to the game plan, and it's going to save. So everything you put in here is auto all the way straight to the database. But if you're playing offline, it'll save online. It'll save offline until you're online again. You turn it on, it'll now. Ooh. I think I have a problem. It just occurred to me, because, well, it's only a problem if people are playing this game both on their PC and on their phone. Like they have multiple places where they're connecting. Because then you couldn't play with you couldn't do some stuff offline. I think maybe when you're offline you won't be able to edit stuff. You can play games, like you could just play for fun with your game plan. It'll give you what your game plan is. But until you're online, it won't let you edit it. I think that's going to have to be what it is. Because it has to be able to save your data to the master database so that wherever you are, it works. To keep things seamless and functional. If I allow people to edit when they're offline, then they go play on a different device and their changes aren't there. Their game plan doesn't exist. And then what? What if they go there and start tweaking with it and say, oh, it's all there. They lost it all. Oh, those jerks, they lost all my data. And then they go do it all on their PC. And then they put it in, all of a sudden everything they did, and then they turn on their phone, and all of a sudden their phone connects to everything, and crash, bam, boom. I probably wouldn't let it crash, because that's not That's not graceful, but I would leave it, an error, conflict, game plan edited in 2 places, something like that. Yeah. I think I have to write it so that you can't edit offline. But that's okay. I mean, you could get plays, earn stuff, do other things, but you wouldn't be able to edit stuff offline. See, the thing is, that's going to be a problem. Because a lot of the offline features and functionality I had in mind maybe I'll just give them a warning. If they go offline, if they do anything that needs to be synced to the database first, give them a warning. You're currently offline. Any changes you make here must be synced before playing on any other device. So, that wouldn't be so bad. A nice big warning says you are currently offline. You must you must go online again before you can use any of your changes on any other device. Continue? Yes, no. Or, it doesn't matter if they say yes or no. It doesn't even have to. They just have to know that they make changes here. They're not good until they go online. That changes will not show up. It'll work for them while they're out, but they need to connect back online before so that it can sync to the database. Okay, so this is kind of funny, but I have this thing here. It doesn't do anything. I need to get rid of that. The little hamburger thing. A lot of games have this, but I don't think my game should have it. I'm trying to decide the best way to do menus. I know a lot of games, a lot of phone games, their menus are just in your face, right? Like, you don't have just having this, if I can get this saving and putting stuff in the database, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting because that to me is like the real piece of the puzzle right there. Just being able to add this stuff, creating the game plan situations. Now, granted, I still have to be able to manipulate that and read what you're putting in, but that's like a key piece. This here is the control panel. This is the user's ability to manipulate the game to a point. Other than picking plays themselves or doing their own or playing head to head with someone. This is this is the whole kit and caboodle right here. Now that's why this has got to look good and function well and do its thing. There's other bits and bobs that you'll be able to do along the way, but this is all about the game. The game itself is going to be you trying to manipulate how the game plays when you're not controlling it. So if you build this up, the more detailed you make it, the more control you have over the game when it's going. This is you building your train of thought for situations. You could be watching a game and going, okay, I don't like that they're always doing that on that play. That's like, I'm behind there and they refuse to punt or they refuse to kick a field goal. I'm going to go in there and say, if it's third and this and I'm behind by 5 points, then do this. Dang nabbit. Yeah, I said dang nabbit. What is this thing? Huh, cool. My wife's a huge Christmas. I think she's actually watched probably all these. I know she's watched this one. Who Killed Santa? A Murderville murder mystery. A Christmas Prince, Our Little Secret, and Falling for Christmas. No, I'm pretty sure she saw this one. I don't know if she saw these other ones though. So she likes to watch all the Christmas movies, Hallmark, Christmas Channel, or whatever. All right, let's get this saving. That's going to take a little bit of manipulation going on because I'm not really sure how best to go about this, to be honest. I gotta save it back. I want my game plan data. Fetch, we'll say save. All right. Really, it's going to be very much, this call is going to be very similar. And I have yet to figure out how some of this stuff's going to happen, but post, active user, fetch game plan. We're going to be set or save game plan. And I think I have to do like, if I remember this correctly, export. Save game plan. Now I probably could just say export save game plan and fetch game plan. It just won't be a default. And that means I have to import them separately. But if I do them, it's kind of like the React pages. So if I'm on game here, if I go up to the top, you can see I have React, but also I need to import those ones. So it's kind of like I need to do an import fetch game data, but also I need to do save game plan. And these are all lower. Oh, those are lowercase. That's uppercase. I don't know what the heck. Which ones? Some of them are uppercase, some are lowercase. Can. I never know what it expects because some things are like, you have to have it uppercase, you have to have it lowercase. It's like, just tell me the right way to do it, man. All the case sensitivity garbage is just drives me nuts. Did I do this one? Yep. Defense. Did not do defense. All right, GitHub, need your help here. Can I do at workspace here? No. Yeah. Game plan data. be adding items to the request for saving via this and to other pages when players, when users click the plus sign. All right, let's see what you got for me. AI suggestions might be inaccurate. It's always fun. Let me put a lot of stock in what you're saying. Sure, let's implement the save game data function in the gameplan.js file. This function will take the game plan data as parameter and send it to the server using a post request. Here's the updated gameplan.data.js. Okay, so we're going to go to gameplan.data.js. Going to open you back up. Let's pin you for now. So this is my save game plan. We're going to do the post, and then we're going to do headers, content type. That's all pretty straightforward. Return res data. Okay, catch error. Console. That's really nothing. This error. I just got a game plan data. Oh, so I got to add the game plan data. That's the one thing that's missing. So we got game plan data. Comma. It's kind of interesting though. A lot of with React, when you have parameters like this, it closes them off and then shows you the rest. But apparently, it's not what's going to happen here. Or they would have this, and then this would be closed, and then that would be on top of that. All right, so we got headers. That's all. Man, that's all there was to that. That's a simple. I didn't realize how simple it was. Just pass the data back. Since I'm doing a post, it reads it, and then we got. Error. Well, how about error saving gRPC data? Okay. That's pretty much all she wrote, man. All right, so we'll do that. And then we got to go, what's next? Wait, what? Sends a post. Oh, well, that updated that, but where's my where's the code to update the other files? This is actually going to be the part I thought would be harder. That was nothing, but I thought this would be the tricky part because I got to save. Probably. Oh, save game plan. Oh. And I thought you understood that when I asked. There we go. There we go. All right. I think he understands what I'm asking now. Jeez, writing a book, man. Okay. All right, so we got to go down here. Let's make sure. Let's start from the bottom and go up. I don't know why I do this. I oftentimes work my way backwards. So we got add new row, which is going to be all these guys, and then I should probably just call this add new, to be honest, because you're just adding new. You're not really adding a new row. I mean, you are, but you're not. Handle change, game plan res. Situation length, favored 1, blank game situation. Ah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's coming together, slowly but surely. We'll keep adding more and more features and stuff, and before you know it, it's going to be running good too, not just looking good. It'll be nice because I think once this starts actually doing more, I'll have more, I don't know, more momentum to get people interested. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Because it becomes more visual to people. Hey, you're doing, oh, that's what you're doing. So it's like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. Remove row index. Just trying to see what actually changed, because they always give you the entire code, even though they're only changing like one thing. And I'm like, do I need all that? Looks like I don't need much. These are not that different. Okay, so what it did do is add in this handle change, add new row, and remove row are now all things now. And that's just going to go is game situation. I'm just going to pop that on the end. And ultimately, I need to go up there. Let's go to my defense and do the same thing, because it's going to be the exact same here. And then I got to figure out how to write these components in a way that I'm not replicating them, because they're all identical, and I hate that. They're identical except for just a few little keywords, and I wish there was a better way to do this. I mean, it works, but I feel like, what could I do? What components, what pieces can I manipulate to just reuse them? Like the output of this offense component, I feel like that could be reused. You know, this whole gobbledygook here. If there was a way to reuse that, so I'm not rewriting it 3 times, so that if I have to change one, I can just change it in all of them, because they're all going to be the same. It's just the groupings of how they lay out. And I'm pretty sure there's a way to do this. I could probably componentize all of this, and maybe even componentize the TD classes. And I don't know why. I mean, like, looking at this, why can't I just loop through my item and just keep creating it? You know, go through map, tr, okay, loop, td, 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 because it's the same. They're all identical. I just need to read the values in the fields. It shouldn't be this complicated. And it's like exact same everything otherwise. I mean, they are putting an on handle change on each one, but even then, they should just be able to change the name, put the index in. Yeah, there's got to be a cleaner way. This is too much code. This is too much gobbledygook. I don't like all this. It's too much repeating junk. It's not efficient. It's not efficient coding. So says me. I say I hereby declare that inefficient. All right, so it says my save game plan should be called this. is fine, because that makes sense. And then, let's see, we got, I'm on ST, so we need to go to defense. And then we need to go to offense. And then we need to save everybody. Now, I don't think I need anything else, because I don't, yeah, they all do add new row, save, okay, so yeah. And does my add new row create a new row after it adds new row? So add new row, response, set response, save game plan. I cannot tell, but when a row is added, will it load as an existing row? And create a new blank row? I don't think it is. I feel like it's not. Yeah, see, he's like, oh, you mean you wanted to be able to add more than one row? Oh, well, in that case, we gotta do something a little different. Actually, I'm not sure what it's doing that's different. I'm still going to refactor this. I know there's a way to do this a little less clunkily. Honestly, I don't see him doing. I don't see any changes there. I was expecting to see a change here. Save game plan response. Add new row. Updates. That's a set response. Save game plan. Set response. Handle change. Set response. And then what did he do? And so when a new row is added using the add new row function, it will be added to the existing rows, and a new blank row will be created further additions. For further additions, the new add new row function appends the new game situation to the game situations array, and then calls save game plan data to save the updated game plan. Okay, so no, it says it'll work. So let's do one. Let's go first. What is it on fourth? Whoops. Well, I guess we're not there yet. The second I type, it goes, boom! What are you doing, man? Cannot set property of undefined setting down. Update game situations index field equals value 71 in game plan offense. 71. All right, let's put a break there. Field down index 1. Updated game situations value 4. Okay. And where are we going with that then? Port global error. Got other junk there. If I don't know what to do with that. Is an extra error? Nope. I am totally going around the block here. Okay, so that's not going to do me any good. I do like that it leaves workspace. I don't have to keep typing it. Okay. And I try to enter a value for the first field down. I get this error. This can happen if the handle change function is called within an index that is out of bounds. To fix this, you need to ensure that the game situation has an element at the specified index before trying to set its properties. You can do this by initializing the element if it doesn't exist. Here's the updated handle change. Oh, because it's treating it like a change. So we need to create a blank when we start typing. And it wasn't considering the possibility of a blank. Okay. So if there's nothing, create one, and then there you go. That's, the change ensures that if the game situation does not have an element at the specified index, a new element is initialized with the properties of. Additionally, you should update the add new row function to ensure the new row is added correctly. We'll go with this one, and then we're going to go down here and say add new row, which is I don't know, what did it do? It says updating it, new game situation, constant update. What did it do? With these changes, the handle change function. What is it doing different though? Response, game situations, update game situations. Constant. Oh, game situation, new game situation. Oh, okay. So it is actually doing something different. All right, so we'll put that under add new row. Wait a minute. New game, blah, blah, blah. Game situations, new game. I don't know how that's different. Actually, I don't see the difference. I thought I was looking at this line. Add new row. Can I have it explain to me what it did here? Constant. Response. Game situations. Colon. Is there an explain? Sometimes there's an explain. Explain, man, I don't understand. Just gonna write the whole thing. Let's make sure it's good. Let's just rewrite the whole thing for you. Okay, well, I don't really need that. You didn't do anything, I guess it doesn't matter, but. So let's go put this guy in my game plan defense. And we'll put this guy in the game plan. Oh, that's data. In the game plan special teams. All right, let's see what happens when I type. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's close this. It's possible the issue is that it just doesn't work because I didn't compile. It has been known to be the case on many, many, many occasions. Ugh. Ugh. So what I want to do is add in some plays into the system. They won't be fully functional plays, but they will be fully named plays. And this way the list can drop down and give you the option of plays that you would have. Now right now, I think my game that I designed, I think I only had about 30 plays in it. Now I'm gonna have to do a lot more than that. I mean, I would like to have like, I don't know, 150 plays, just a bunch of plays that just do slight variations of the same thing. Or maybe I could do less plays and I can do mirroring plays. In other words, I could do like maybe 75 plays that you can mirror the play. So basically you just swap who's running on what side. The difference is, there is a difference in a mirror play and a reverse set play. It may, because they look the same, but a reverse set leaves the players on the same side. Like you might say, for example, you have a 4 wide receiver set. If you run like the far right receiver 2 or receiver 4 even, you know, out on a long post, and then you got the receiver 1 doing a short hook, and you got receiver 2 doing a what do you call it? An inside cut. And then if you play a mirror play, those players swap sides and they just go to the other side and do the same thing. If you do a same set play, the players would stay on the same side, except for this time the other player is going deep. So this time your receiver 1 is going for the post, and your receiver 4 is doing the hook, and your receiver 3 is doing the inside cut. I can't remember what that's called.